Alright, what's going on, everybody? This is the Boo Bros. It's Nate, Josh, and Steven, and we thought we'd make a short little video here going through. Looks like there's a list on IMDb of the top 50, even though it's only 48 horror movies. I don't know if it's by ranking or by a certain measurement that they've done, but I thought it'd be fun to go through with the guys and rank some of these. We're just going to go higher or lower, our personal opinions. This is not us saying that these movies are bad or good. Maybe they're just not our style or we haven't seen them. So the first movie is Us by Jordan Peele. Have y'all seen that movie?
I think
It's the one where there's copies of people that live in like an underground sewer system, and they're like evil or something. I thought it was good. I thought it was good. This is a top 50, even though it's 48. Top 50 of all time. I don't know if it ranks in the top 50 of all time for me personally. It was good. But I'd say if it's going to be on this list, 48 is probably fine.
Yeah.
Anybody object there? Okay. Number 47 is the first Quiet Place movie.
I feel like that should be. I don't know. I think I would go. I think I would move it up. Like not a lot, but I think I would move that up to like maybe 40, like 46, 45, somewhere in there.
My
Just 'cause
problem
of the
is
premise
like
behind it.
movies like that to me seem more like sci-fi than horror, I guess.
That's true.
So like it's hard for me to rank it. It's a good movie.
Yeah, because
So
that was basically the premise of like essentially the monster's just if any type of sound, so you can't make like literally any sound. Period. Right.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, you said move that one up a little bit. I tend to agree. Again, it's hard for me like outside of a couple sci-fi movies. Most sci-fi movies just feel like other sci-fi movies. Um,
Right.
Quiet Place did enough to kind of set itself apart, so that's probably right. Number 46 is Sinners. Have either of y'all seen that?
I have not.
That's the new one, right?
That's the new one by Ryan Coogler about the vampires. It's got Michael B. Jordan playing twin brothers in it.
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay, I did see it, and I liked it a lot.
Oh,
Again, it's one of those things where it's like top 50 of all time. I don't really know, but it's really good. So I'd say I wouldn't lower it for sure. So it's definitely worth a watch if you want to watch it. The Devil's Backbone I've never seen.
I haven't even heard of that. Came out in what? That came out in '01. It says.
Yeah, oh one.
Arrives at a boys' orphanage. He discovers the school is haunted and has many dark secrets. Cool premise, but I don't know how it would be. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't even know if I've ever heard of that one.
I definitely have not.
American Werewolf in London. I'll
That's
just
cool.
say right now, there's no way this should be 44. This should be higher.
no.
The Metascore being 55 is a crime. I don't understand it. That's crazy.
I mean, well, and I think I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the movie came out so long ago. But at the time, I mean, like that, like just their
The transformation of that movie is probably the best ever.
it's one of the
Oh
best,
yeah, and
especially
that
for that
was
time period.
all
That still
done
holds
in
up.
practical effects.
Yeah, that's still happening in that. Yeah,
Yeah,
still would hold up today. So.
it's interesting. I made a blog post today that is on a site that isn't live yet, but hopefully y'all can read it soon. We're working on it, but it's called horror's changed. Is that okay? And it's about how a lot of people perceive older horror movies as kind of like they don't hold up or like they're not as scary as new stuff, and that's kind of true. But if done right, I think old horror movies can hang with the best of them still. So this is one of them. That movie, the whole duality of, the werewolf curse making it so he can see his dead friend and his dead friend's like a zombie, and he's talking to him the whole time. It's so cool. That's up there. Thirst, I know I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. That's Korean for sure.
It looks to be Korean. Yep.
No, I haven't seen that one either.
Through a failed medical experiment, a priest is stricken with vampirism and is forced to abandon his. Huh.
That's it. It sounds like it's a cool premise. I've never seen that. The Invisible Man. It's obviously a spiritual successor to the Universal Monsters Invisible Man. It was a really good movie. It's a cool premise where have either of y'all seen that one?
Yeah, I have seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically like her ex is a psycho that's like mega rich and he makes an invisibility suit out of cameras and he's just like a piece of shit. Um, it was a fun movie. I can't. What's her name? Elizabeth Moss. It's like one of the many movies that she starred in. Like, seemed like she just started being in everything in like around 2020. But Invisible Man was good. I thought it was pretty cool. It was a cool twist on the original. It wasn't exactly the same. Kind of a modern reinvention of the old tale, but I thought it was good. Again, like I won't. I try not to say too much, but like top 50 of all time. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it was good. So Late Night with the Devil. I heard this movie was freaking awesome, and I never saw it for some. It just slipped past me. Um, but I heard it was really good, and I'm sad that I forgot about it again. I even made a note on my Google Doc to watch this.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, just reading. I mean, not having watched it, but just reading it. I mean, that
Yeah.
sounds like that would be
Well,
absolutely terrifying.
I'm not going to try to say this guy's name. This David Dasmalchian or whatever. He's been in a you'd recognize him if you saw him. He's been in a bunch of stuff, but apparently he did really. He's
Oh,
basically
yeah.
he's a late night talk show host that's competing with like Johnny Carson in this movie. And he's like, working his ass off trying to compete and trying to be a big late night talk show, and it just nothing ever goes right for him. And then he finally gets this girl on that swears up and down she's possessed, and it turns out they think she is. And it looks really cool.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies.
Yeah, he's been in everything. He was in The Dark Knight. He always plays that creepy dude. Anyway, the Green Room is next. I know I've heard of it. I think I've even seen clips of it. I don't think I've ever watched it.
Nope, can't say I have either.
No? Nathan?
No.
But
No? All right.
classic is the next one.
So, this one definitely needs to go up.
For sure.
This is the original one? Yeah, the original one. Because the remake was in what, 1990 something, Nathan?
Which one is this?
Night of the Living Dead, the original.
Oh, yes.
Wasn't there was a remake in like 91 or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this was the one that started off where they were.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
And it
That
was
one.
like it was black and white. And
Yep.
It started in like.
They were in the
first at the
cemetery in the
beginning.
country, and then her brother got whacked, and she ran to that farmhouse and hung out there, and that crazy dude and his wife locked themselves in the basement and shit. Night of the Living Dead, for me, it's top 5 zombie movies of all time. As far as horror overall, it's at least like top 10, top 20. It needs to go higher than almost 40. That's crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
Evil Dead. So, this one is like very polarizing. I feel like
That was
some
more
people
like
love.
brutality, right?
Yeah, some people love Evil Dead. Some people hate it. It is like I don't know. I love the series. So for me, it's an easy. It deserves more than 38. But I understand why some people would want it lower. Because it is just over the top. It's slapstick. It's silly. And
The first Evil Dead wasn't that.
well, that's
bad.
that. So that's true. So I guess if you're rating just the first one, because when they did Evil Dead 2, they just remastered the first one and made it kind of more over the top. So
Yeah, they had a
if
bigger
this is
budget, so they could-
yeah, and they just refilmed the first one. If this is the first one, it was a lot more serious. Nathan's right, and it was a lot more, dark. The tone and like the whole. I get it was just it seemed like a more like a dreadful movie. So I don't know. I do no matter what any of the Evil Deads in my opinion, even the show deserves to be higher than 38, especially with some of these other movies on here. I just think this stands out for sure. It invented an entire genre. In my opinion, if there wasn't an Evil Dead and probably a handful of other movies like stuff like Terrifier wouldn't exist. Because these were the first ones that like pushed the envelope with crazy gore and cutting people in half with a chainsaw and all kinds of shit. And that was in the early 80s.
Yeah, because this one's the 81, so I guess this would be.
This is the
would be
original.
the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this right here, I'm going to say this is blasphemy. This is the first vampire movie, arguably ever. I don't know if there was another one, but I think London After Midnight was later than this, I believe. That was a 20s, maybe 30s. I can't remember. I should know that. But Nosferatu, it's the first. I mean, it's the movie that got vampires famous. Actually, the F.W. Murnau stole Bram Stoker's Dracula and made it a silent film, and actually got sued, and had to take. They had to stop showing the film because it was basically word for word almost the story of Dracula, but written for a German actor, and all that stuff. I think it's classic. I mean, this scene that it shows right here, you probably can't see it that well, but like the shadow of him going up the stairs is like an infamous horror scene. Max Schreck, who played Count Orlok, is excuse me. He made a terrifying vampire. So I do think 37 for like the vampire movie that started it all is kind of low. Should probably be a little higher. Yeah. I understand why a lot of people rate it low because it's a silent movie. It's but like in my opinion, again, I wrote a blog post today on our site about it, but it seems like people don't give horror movies a chance anymore unless it's like a crazy slasher flick where people are just dying left and right.
Or
To
it's
me,
something that's got like an incredible amount of jump scares.
yeah, it's like I like a horror movie that like lets its characters build and like it doesn't need to be. And I'll get into this when I see the movie that I want to talk about, but I like a movie that doesn't necessarily rely on just like a gore fest or jump scares left and right to carry it. I like there to be like an actual plot and for an antagonist to have like a build up that's pays off. Anyway, probably higher. Rec or record. I have not seen this, but actually I have. If this is the French one or the Spanish one, which it is, this was translated to an American movie called Quarantine, which y'all might have seen.
Yes, I think I have seen Quarantine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the original. This is the original movie from Spain or wherever. That was apparently way better.
Of course.
I haven't seen this one. I saw Quarantine. It was decent. It was not top 50 material. It was decent. This is apparently better, so maybe it is top 50. I have not seen it, so I'm sure it's good. A lot of people say it's really, really good. I just have not seen that. House, 1977. Never heard of it.
I was gonna say I'm just like watching like the little like, just like the really short like preview, and it looks like more like
The
hilarious.
original House was good.
You saw
And
this?
that was, yes.
Is this Japanese?
And then-
This is Japanese.
Oh, is this a Japanese? Oh, I thought it was like the American version House.
No. This, I mean, the director and the stars are all Japanese names, so I assume
Oh.
they're.
There's a
I
one
mean, it
in
looks.
the-
I mean,
there was
honestly,
one in the
it looks
80s
like
called
ultra, like
House.
ultra cheesy. Like it's got like, there's like, not great like special effects and stuff. I don't know.
Well, it is
It's older.
1977.
Yeah.
So I remember
But,
there
like-
was an American one called House, and then they had like House 2, and it was like the House 2 American one was like the total role reversal. It was kind of like what Evil Dead did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the second one was like over the top cheesy comedy fest.
Huh. Yeah, I have not seen that one. The next one is The Mist, which is the one with Thomas Jane in it. This is a great movie. It's got one of the like most heartbreaking twists I think I've ever seen at the end of a horror movie of all time. If you haven't seen it, I won't ruin it for you. But it's a classic Stephen King book, and the movie's really good. It's one of the better ones I've seen on the list so far. Again, top 50, maybe. But it was awesome. I don't know if I'm hoping at least Nathan has seen this one.
Which one was that?
The Mist.
The Mist.
Yes, The Mist. Yes.
With Thomas Jane. It's great. It's awesome.
Yes.
I feel like I feel like I've seen it just watching like the just kind of like the preview. I feel like I've seen it, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while either. It's really good. The next one is absolutely on this list. The Descent. This movie was one of the movies that I remember coming out when I was younger, and it was like I was into horror movies already. Nathan was around in those years for me when I was that age. You know, he remembers that I was already into basically all the stuff he was into, and I remember this is one of the horror movies that it was like, okay, you like horror movies, but you're still a kid. Absolutely not. You cannot watch The Descent. It's up there, and watching it, I of course snuck it and watched it at my mom's house, and it's freaking terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. Um, it's terrifying for a multitude of reasons. I mean, number one, it's a bunch of girls that go on this like spelunking trip, which just sounds like an awful idea if you think about it. But they'll go on this spelunking trip for like this girls girls weekend or whatever, and they have issues where they get stuck down there and they run into a subterranean race of like bat people, and it's brutal. And it's extreme. It's very good. It's absolutely top 50. Um, I would venture to say, in my opinion, it needs to be higher than 33. Probably higher. It's like upper 50%, like 25.
Yeah, yeah, that needs to be up.
Josh, have you seen The Descent?
I have. And I would probably agree that it should be higher up as well.
Well, all right then. Um, okay, Black Christmas I've heard of, I've never seen.
Let's see if I have not seen it either.
No, I haven't seen that one either.
All right.
This one, the next one, I'm gonna say needs to go higher.
Sixth Sense.
Yes, because I like vividly remember that movie from when I was younger for sure. I mean, I was 7 when that movie came out, and I remember watching it, and it was like one of the scariest movies I'd ever seen up to that point. So,
Is it is it the one where the kid is like, it's not real, and opens the shower curtain and there's like a green, like zombie person in the bathtub?
no, this is the one where basically he has like this. So basically, like the person he's talking to through the entire movie is like dead, and so he can just see dead people. So that's the one where like there was like that accident with the bike, and he's like, they died, and she's like, how do you know that? You see the body, like the person walked by the window.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
I remember that.
I remember this movie
This is
scared
the
the crap
Bruce
out of
Willis
me.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie scared the crap out of me because the lady who had her wrist cut, and she said like, you did this to me. So my mom has the same hairstyle as it, and I remember after I watched
That's
this, I
tough.
went into the kitchen, and she was literally in the cabinet just like the lady was, and I was like, nope.
That's tough.
Alright.
I don't know if I ever
Yeah,
knew that Toni Collette was in that movie. She's the one from Hereditary, which, by the way, if Hereditary is not on this list, that's unbelievable. We'll see. The Others. Never seen this.
I have seen this one. This one was, if I remember, if I think, did they have a remake of this? Maybe.
This is 2001. Has Nicole Kidman in it.
I think I have seen, because I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, because I'm pretty sure that this is like the one where like she keeps seeing like
Other people.
the like, well, yes, but it's like ghosts that are like under like her. She sees like this ghost that keeps going under like the sheets and stuff, and it's like, if I remember correctly. But I don't know if I'd move that.
Okay. I mean,
Orphanage.
they're saying this is top 30 of all time. So, The
Yeah, if
Orphanage,
anything,
I am not familiar with.
So it looks like that's actually a Spanish movie, and it was remade in English, because the original title was El Orfanato or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't seen it.
Gotcha.
I'm just looking. I'm clicking into each of them so that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can see the next one.
Yeah. So, I have a post about this on a different social media something I'm working on with my dad, but I did make a post about. Well, really, where I'm going with this is 28 Days Later invented the running zombie.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say invented, but it definitely made it popular.
Right.
And 28 Days Later happened, which made Left 4 Dead happen, which made all the the Train to Busan's happen. I mean, this all spawned from this movie.
Yeah, I would definitely bring that. I would bring that up. I'd say that's probably top.
I'd say at least a few. Yeah, at least a few spots. I mean, it's definitely a genre definer. The original, even the second. I mean, 28 Weeks Later is great. The new one came out with some. The new one was pretty polarizing because of some choices they made at the end. But I'll say 28 Days Later for sure is an all-time banger. So, Barbarian, I have seen. Has anybody else seen it?
I do not think I've seen that one.
I don't think so.
Okay. It's got your boy Justin Long in it from Jeepers Creepers 1 fame. So there's this guy that's super creepy, and you're under the impression that he's going to be... it's Bill Skarsgård. And you're under the impression that he's kind of the killer the entire time. Well, not the entire time, but for the beginning. And they're in this little tiny Airbnb house, and they open this back room, and this back room has a tunnel that goes underground. And there's this whole underground tunnel system in this Airbnb. And they get to the bottom, and there's like a 9-foot tall inbred woman monster down there.
Screw that.
And basically the movie turns into, she's down there because the guy that used to own the house, he apparently sold the house, but just built a secret tunnel and lived underground underneath this house for years. And I think you're under the impression that he probably sexually assaulted somebody and got them pregnant, and this child monster thing is the baby from it, and then just this wild cycle of inbreeding, Hills Have Eyes shit going on underground for like ever, and these people just happen to stay at the house, and it's an Airbnb. Because Justin Long is like some douchebag that's like, renovates the house and is trying to make money Airbnb-ing it, and people are going there and going missing. So he goes to like figure it out and gets sucked into it. It's a wild movie. It's fun.
Yeah, I'll watch that for sure.
Yeah, it's a fun one. All right, next one is Drag Me to Hell. This is the one with Justin Long as well, directed by Sam Raimi. There is one from... I've seen the original, not this one.
I feel like I've seen this one. I feel like I've seen this one, but...
I've definitely seen this one. Or I've definitely seen, I think, the original. I think there's one from like the 70s, I want to say. Maybe the 80s. Let me see. No, the original. I mean, the only one I'm seeing is 2009. So
yeah, I remember that lady. So I definitely remember this.
Oh, I'm thinking of I Spit on Your Grave.
And I remember, and I feel like if I'm thinking of this movie was like absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, I have not seen this one. I was thinking of I Spit on Your Grave. So this one I have not seen.
It was pretty freaky. I don't know if I would move it.
Okay. So it's at 26 right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I would maybe.
It's a good 26.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a good one.
Next one's Exorcist.
I would say just for the pure timing, I would say that should probably be higher than the thing.
Yeah, keep this in mind. This was 1973. This is 1 year before Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which, in my opinion, changed everything. And I can get into that. That better be on this fucking list.
I will definitely say this extra because I remember watching this, and I would definitely put this higher because this kind of like established the demonic like
exactly.
Genre,
it went from like slashers and stuff like that to now we're talking about demonic possession.
And I remember,
This
yeah,
movie
I
holds
mean,
up. If you watch it now, it's still scary. Like it
yeah,
still hits you.
and even this movie, like when it came out, they even did like, my mom was big into like the Days of Our Lives thing. They did an
Yeah.
Exorcist like episode, and it was terrifying. But yeah, I definitely think that this should be higher because it really did like define that genre of demonic, um, possessions, and
Yeah, no,
like
it's one of the big movies. Um, I'd have to see what's above this. I mean, I could tell you it's better than. I love a lot of the movies coming up, but I think it's better than all these.
yeah, I, mean, I would say I would.
It's
I
just
mean,
it's such a
not
formative thing, right? It's like
right.
you talk about like the big five or the big six horror movies. I mean, The Exorcist is top 8 to 10 easy, just in terms of the ground that it covered and like the the work that it put in to set up the horror genre in general. I mean, it put in the work. So this is officially the top half of the list. I would say, at least it's in the top half. It deserves that. So that's probably okay. We'll have to see what's above it. Um, and speaking of that, we have The Witch. I don't know if y'all seen The Witch. Um,
I
it
don't.
was Robert Eggers, which, if you know Robert Eggers, he just did Nosferatu. He did The Lighthouse. He did The Northman, and he's already, I think, casting's done, and they're starting to shoot his next movie, which is called Werewolf, and I cannot wait for that. If you've ever seen one of his movies, he's got a very distinct style, but in my opinion, there's a few people in horror right now that are doing things that I find interesting. It was Jordan Peele, and he hasn't really done much. Not to hate on him, he's better at any of this shit than I am, but he's I didn't think Nope. He did Nope after Us, and I thought Nope was the weakest of the three. He was a producer of that movie that just came out called Him, which is getting utterly bombed right now. People say it's god
Yeah,
awful.
yeah, that's
Um,
I've heard.
well, people just like they're just saying that this like all the symbology is just hitting you over the head with how evil sports are and all this weird like influencer and athlete culture that we have. It's just I don't know. But anyway, The Witch, Robert Eggers, in my opinion, every movie that he's released has been a banger. I love his style. The Witch was the first. I don't know if it was the first movie ever, but it was the first one that he was in the big chair and got a lot of hype for. And it is one of the movies that I don't recommend to everybody because it is a very slow burn. It is not a movie where people are just getting hacked up and killed and there's jump scares every 5 minutes. I mean that doesn't really exist. It obviously takes
Looks like
place. It takes place during the Salem or basically the Salem witch trials. It's
the
early
scene.
America. Um, Anya Taylor Joy. This is one of her bigger parts early in her career. She's obviously a megastar now, but Ralph Ineson is in it, who I also like. He just played facial face capture and voiced Galactus in the new Fantastic Four. Um, I love this movie. The ending is incredible. A lot of people have
That's very
said a
well.
lot of people have said the meme in the quote from this movie and don't even realize it's from this movie. But I mean, long story short, Anya Taylor Joy is a little Puritan girl, and things keep happening bad to her family, and her dad and her mom are like very religious. They're what are they? Pilgrims, and it turns out in the end, the whole thing is made to be like you're getting gaslit, and witchcraft isn't real, because of course it's not, and her dad's just a crazy person that is blaming everything that bad happens to them on witchcraft, and it turns out witches are real. And at the end, her whole family's dead. Spoiler, but this movie's you should have seen this. Um, and they have a little black goat named I think his name's Philip. And again, the whole time you're led
Real
to
good
believe that
name
it's
for goat.
yeah, the whole time you're led to believe it's all lies and folklore. And the goat walks over the little black goat and says, "Would thou like to live deliciously?" to her. So it's like, wait a second. The black goat is
Oh,
literally it's the devil. It's the devil. So like the whole time you're led to believe this is all fake and she's getting mistreated by her family. They're calling her a witch, and she's just mistreated. And it turns out that the evil goat of her in her on her farm is either a demon or literally the devil. And the end of the movie shows her walking out to the woods, and there's a bunch of witches out there doing a spell, and they all start floating into the trees. The end. And I was like, "Oh my god!" Like it was such a cool ending.
Very
Um,
cool.
I love that
I gotta
movie.
see it.
It's definitely top 50. 24. I don't know, but it's top 50. I love that movie. The Conjuring.
I gotta say, yeah, I gotta go higher than that for
It's
me.
it's it's good. It's definitely good. I think the first Conjuring definitely is up there. I don't know if it's better than The Exorcist, but it's definitely good.
No, I don't think it's
Um,
better than The Exorcist, but it definitely gives you like the. I mean, everybody knows the Conjuring house, and like, I think they did a good job of like there was like a good combination of jump scares and then just kind of the idea of like this ultra dark spirit, and I think so. I would definitely. I mean, I would put that in my top. I would put that in my top 15. I think for me, but I
so you remember when this
just
movie
do it.
came out? It was like when The Conjuring came out. It was like everybody knew it was like the next big horror movie. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
I don't know if we've had anything. The closest thing I have felt to that, and I don't think Terrifier counts because that's like its own little genre almost.
Right.
Um, the closest thing I felt to The Conjuring since the first Conjuring is probably Long Legs,
And I've never seen Long Legs,
and I'd
but
be interested to see what you guys thought of that movie because I'll be 100%. It was good, and it was incredibly creepy. But that movie, it just felt flat. Like it felt like the climax of the movie was the very beginning, and then like the last 45 minutes were like nothing was happening. Um,
I think another reason why Conjuring is such a big thing was obviously one because it's based on like everybody knows it's based on a true story, but two
mhm,
it's like you have the most prominent demonologists who I think have ever lived that are
mhm,
like in this house trying to figure out what's there, and like there's so much dark energy that this made them stop being
mhm.
investigators.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are great together. They have been through the whole series. Even when the movies weren't as strong, those two kind of shine through anyway. That movie definitely deserves to be on here. It is one of the bigger horror movies of our generation for sure.
dude, that's so chalked. If you click into it, the first picture is where he's standing behind him in the mirror. Dude, that's chalk.
The Omen. Um, so The Omen
So
is obviously it's become a whole series by now. I'm sure I haven't kept up with it very much. I remember seeing this a long time ago, and I don't remember anything about it.
this movie was basically you had like the Omen was this little boy
This is
who,
Damien or whatever, right?
yeah,
Yes.
yep, the one where he like basically he like pushes her like off the stairs or whatever. But I remember this one actually I saw it when I was spending the night at a friend's house, and I think his mom was watching it and she didn't know I was watching it, but I remember it was like 2 a.m. It was fucking terrifying. But it's just, yeah, so this little boy is the devil basically,
Son of
and
the devil.
yep, and he's just does all this crazy stuff like um so I would put
He
that
doesn't really do anything. It's just things happen around
around.
him.
Yeah, that's true, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because he's not like really. I think. Well,
I
did
think
he
the only
really?
part that he actually did was like I think he pushed her that I think, or he pushes something at her, or does something that makes her almost fall off the stairs or whatever
Yeah.
it is. Because there's all kinds of omens. I think the original one, there was, if I remember correctly, the original one wasn't very. I think, like you said, I don't think it was very hands on. I think as they got more, I think it got more
Well, I
hands
think
on.
it's as he got powerful, he got more hands off. But when he was a kid, he was kind of like it was just things happening around him that were, like was it the one of the maids hanged herself at his birthday party?
Yeah,
This
I
is
get
for
it.
you. Eh.
Um, Yeah, I remember the character. I don't remember like any of the plot. I'd say it's top 50 probably, but I don't know much farther than that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd move it. I think I'd keep it
The
where it's at.
original Scream, definitely top 50. Um,
Yeah.
I cannot believe under stars they don't have our boy. Um, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name on the spot, but Shaggy from the Scooby Doo series. What is that guy's name? Matthew Lillard. I don't know how you don't have him in these, but okay. Um, Scream is awesome. It was like the first horror movie that kind of, it made the killer kind of an idiot.
I was gonna say, kind of like it almost
It was a
like
rug pull. It came out and it made you feel like he was like a serious killer, and then it was kind of a rug pull. Also, I will say, for a horror movie that has as many sequels as this one has, most of the sequels have been good. Most of
true.
them. Most of them are like, Halloween, as much as I love Halloween, there is a lot of sequels you could just go ahead and never see.
Yeah.
But like,
I think after a certain amount, you just run out of ideas, right?
right, but like Scream has had a ton of movies. And like, to be honest, dude, Scream 1, probably the best, but then they rebooted Scream a few years ago and brought all the original cast back, and like, I don't remember what they were called, but like, there was like a couple, I mean, there might even been three of them. They were all excellent. Every one of them. They were all good. And like one of them, the Scream killer was like actually scary and like very legit. And it was very good. The original Scream, I loved it. I loved the bait and switch at the end. That it was two of them the entire time. Thought it was awesome.
I also like the fact that I don't know if you guys remember, but like when they came out the mask that you could like push like the pump and it make blood come in the
Oh,
mask.
of course.
That was like the coolest
Dude,
thing ever.
that ruled like late '90s, early 2000 Halloweens, like literally. It's probably still does.
Everybody.
Nightmare on Elm Street. So, hot take. Hot take. I like Nightmare on Elm Street. Robert Englund is great. The original one is good. Dream Warriors is better, which is the second one. But I do think Nightmare on Elm Street and honestly Friday the 13th, out of all the slasher films, are the weakest of the slasher films. But I do like the original. I like Friday the 13th 1 and 2, and I like Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 2. Definitely top 50. 20
Yeah,
for
overall.
me personally is probably about right. I do think they're overhyped. Everybody acts like Freddy is the best. I think there's so many other slashers that are more interesting. So I'm just a hater, I guess, but I do think 20 is probably where I'd have him, maybe even lower. He's not better than The Exorcist. You're out of your fucking mind.
No, I would definitely put it. I would probably leave it where it's at. And I mean, that's another
It's
one.
a
Like you
huge
said,
brand. I
kind
just
of-
think it's one of the brands that like people like. If you ask people like, "Oh, do you like horror movies?" Well, yeah, I like Nightmare on Elm Street, and then you're like, "Okay, name 5 characters that aren't Freddy Krueger." They couldn't tell you a single one. Like it's that movie. It's that movie that like transcended into like, big,
But-
Pop culture.
yeah, pop culture, and like most of the people that say they like it don't even know anything about it.
right.
But it's still good. So, Suspiria, I have heard of. I have not seen.
I haven't seen it. I don't
I haven't
think.
seen that one either.
Rosemary's Baby, obviously classic.
Oh, it's
Um,
classic.
It's very good. Josh, have you by chance seen that?
I have not. Not that I remember.
It is so if you haven't seen a lot of Roman Polanski movies, it's a very much a Roman Polanski movie. But it's good. It's worth a watch. It's definitely top 50, top 18. I don't know, but top 50 for sure.
I gotta. I'm making a list in my head on movies we're gonna have to watch so I can.
We'll have to,
get
dude.
it.
I've got that Google Doc. It's huge. I don't. To be fair, I don't know if Rosemary's Baby's on it. If it's not, I should add it. We were talking about this before we started recording this little audio. But Let the Right One In, I don't think I've seen, but I know I've heard of it many, many times when people talk about great movies. I have not seen this.
Yeah,
I
seen it
have.
either. You said you have.
I have seen the European version. The
Okay.
original. Really good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Top 50?
Yeah, top 50.
Top 50. All right then.
Would you put it as high up on the list as it is on this
Mm,
at number 17?
I think it was really unique for what it did at the time. You know, it was like the one
Yeah, I
scene
mean,
was
this is
like,
almost 20 years old. So
yeah, oh, damn.
sorry, Nate.
You're
Sorry,
old.
Nathan.
I do like to see where it was like they had the girl had to let the kid in
Yeah.
the house, and he goes like, "You got to invite me." And he goes, "Well, what if I don't invite you?" And like he walks in and he starts bleeding blood from like every orifice. And she goes, "Oh."
That's not great.
Here, go
Yeah.
back outside. Let me invite you
Well,
in,
that's why
please.
it was like the whole idea of you have to let invited vampire in the house
Mm.
before they can. You know, that's from the original Dracula.
Oh yeah.
You know, he like stays at the door until she like, come on in. Okay.
Um. Let's see. Mandy. So Mandy is a very interesting movie. Um. It blends in with me. Nicolas Cage. So Nick Cage is obviously insane. He's insane in everything he does. Um. I get this one mixed up with A Color Out of Space. Um, Mandy is the cult one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember it being kind of just like absolutely insane, just over the top. Everything about it is crazy. I don't remember much about the plot. Um, so I don't know whether to go here nor there on that. I do really like The Color Out of Space. I like Nick Cage too. If he's cast right, he's awesome.
I mean, I will say off with just like the little preview, it looks absolutely terrifying.
No, it's insane. Like it's a very over the top movie. I don't remember much about it, so you know I don't even really remember much other than like the just sheer amount of violence in it. The Fly. So this movie's fine. I don't know if I consider it horror in my own brain. I guess for the time it kind of was. 1986. I mean, the dude's turning into a giant fly. It's a Cronenberg film. It's probably one of like the Cronenberg's known for like body horror, and this is definitely a body horror movie. So it's disturbing, it's gross. Horror though, I don't know. I'd say for what it did for body horror, it's probably up there, top 50. But I don't know if it's 15 for me.
I would say lower.
Yeah, probably so. Midsummer. I saw this movie in the theaters with one of our other good buddies, Morgan. Like the day it came out, and I remember it being like such a surreal. It's very The Wicker Man, Apostle. If you've never seen Apostle, it's great. Just like folk horror, just really, really strange. Um, I liked it a lot. It's interesting because like I feel like there was The Wicker Man and then like nothing for so long in that genre, like folk, cult, weird, pagan stuff, and then and like and I feel like in the span of a couple years there was The Ritual, which was awesome if you never saw that. It's a Netflix movie about a bunch of friends that go on a backpacking trip and they wind up in an ancient Norse forest that's haunted by this like ancient Norse like creature that makes people immortal and shit. That movie rocks. So that came out, and then Midsummer came out, and Apostle came out, and they're all like folk horror movies, and they all came out within like a few years. Midsummer is good. I don't know if I liked it better than either of the other movies I just talked about, and I don't think either of them are on this list. So I think top 50 is probably okay for Midsummer. Top 14 though, I don't know.
And this is like of all time.
Also, I mean, according to IMDb, this list it's top 50
Huh.
of all time.
It's interesting because like it almost seems like I'm just like looking at the ratings. It almost seems like the IMDb ratings actually have gotten some of them have been less than others, even though they're higher on the list. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it's. I mean, like I even said at the beginning, I don't know. Like I've seen stars that are lower, that are higher. The Metascore is kind of out of order, so I'm not sure if it's like a combined like critic and audience score. I don't know. Um,
Gotcha.
but yeah, Midsummer, it was definitely good. I don't know if it's top 15. I don't really know, but it was good. The Babadook, I do remember seeing this movie. Um, I don't remember much about it. It's the one that knocks 3 times, from what I remember. Something about
Yeah.
knocking 3 times. I don't remember much else.
I would almost put this in the same genre as Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, it's in that same vein of like Jeepers Creepers. I think Sinister's better than this. I don't know if Sinister's on this list, but like it's in that same like very creepy, but top 13, that's pushing it. This, I mean, again, you got to remember Exorcist was like 15 entries ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So, Babadook, it's good. It's on here. 13 is pretty high. Now we're going to start getting pretty hard on these movies because, like, top 10 ever. Um, It Follows. I get this movie mixed up a lot with Parasite. This is like the movie about like the STD monster where they like sleep with people and then it follows them around. But like the monsters, like it looks like normal people or something, but they're all jacked up, like their face is all fucked up.
Huh.
I remember
Well,
I watched, I know I saw it, and I remember it being very very like creepy. Um, I I guess I'll click on it. I don't know. Y'all probably won't see this on the stream, but I want to see.
yeah, I'm watching like the
I'll
little
recognize
preview
like some
thing.
pictures if I see it. Of course, every picture I look at is just the cast. I remember being
Yeah,
very creepy. None of these screenshots are jumping out to me though, so maybe I'm not remembering what I thought I was. Um,
yeah, we're getting. I haven't seen that one.
yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't remember that one as much as I thought I did. I think I'm getting confused with another one. Top 12. Again, that's pushing it. Um, the fact that I don't remember it, it could just be my fault. I don't know. Um, I think I'm getting it mixed up with another one. So anyway, doesn't matter because the next one's Halloween, and this one's absolutely top. I mean, it is 11. I'd say the fact that Get Out is in front of this is crazy. As much as I like Get Out, Halloween's top 10 easily.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, Halloween 1978. It really worries me that we're in the top 10 and we haven't seen the movie that I just knew would be on this list. Um, this movie is, I'll say, it's not the first, but I think it is. It is the. I mean, it's called Halloween. When you think of Halloween, you think of the Halloween series. I mean, this movie changed the world. Still changes the world. Arguably the best slasher.
Except for the third one.
Oh yeah. So the third. That's an interesting thing that we might get into in a future podcast. So the third one is a bad Michael Myers. Well, he's not even in it. It's a bad
No.
Halloween series movie, but I understand what they were trying to do
I mean,
because Michael Myers was supposed to be dead. The second one they killed
yeah.
him, and then they were going to
Yeah.
release a Halloween movie every Halloween like an anthology. And Halloween 3 was just the first one, and everybody's like, "Where the hell's Michael Myers at?" So they
Maybe.
I
went
mean,
back.
bad thing is the story is really good.
The story's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It's called Season of the Witch, right?
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was so good. But people are just like, there's no Michael Myers, fuck this movie. What's crazy is if you go back and watch it now, it's like very good. Like it's such a good movie. Um, but people are just they didn't understand. Like You know, they killed Michael Myers in Halloween 2. They're like, okay, he's dead. Like, we're gonna move on, and people just
Like
didn't
one
get
of
the
the,
memo. So
it's like one of those things where like the director's like, all right, we're gonna kill this guy off, and then because like we want to do something else, and it's like just kidding. We're gonna go ahead and take
yeah,
it
and
back.
like, and I mean, I'm glad because like Halloween 4 is it's literally the banner on our website. It's the coolest intro of a Halloween movie of all time. So like, I'm glad they did it. But anyway, Halloween at 100% top 10. Love it.
For sure, 100%. Yeah.
So that leads us to 10, which is Get Out. So Get Out absolutely should be on this list. Um, Jordan Peele has kind of cemented himself as a top director in general. He's very creative in how he does things. I loved Get Out. I loved Us. Nope was just not. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't get it. I watched it twice. I didn't even finish it the second time. It's not my thing. It's whatever.
It was a nope.
Huh? Yeah, it was a nope.
It was-
But Get Out was really good. It was kind of one of those movies where people are like, "Oh, what Jordan Peele? What are you talking about?" And then you watched it, and you're like, "Holy shit!" Um, top 10 though, I don't think it's better than Halloween. I don't think it's better than Exorcist. You know, top 15 probably. And if we're talking about horror movies in the last decade, absolutely, probably top 10, top 15.
Right.
Ever? I don't know. Cabin in the Woods.
So Cabin in the Woods is pretty freaky.
I know we've all seen it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would say it's creepy. Do I think that it should be this high on the list? I don't know.
Yeah, number 9's high, man. Number 9's high.
I mean, because like, yeah, I remember it, and like, I remember, like, I remember the premise behind it and all that stuff. But it just seems like it's not as memorable as some of the other ones we've seen.
Yeah, it's
But
cool
still
that
very.
you know they took like a horror cliche and they kind of flipped it up on its head because it's like, oh, actually, you know, all these things in horror movies are real, and they're owned by like a mega corporation that uses them to sacrifice teens to, you know, some, I don't know, some conspiracy or whatever. I mean, it literally says that in this, but it's like you find out that all of it's controlled by a company and they're betting on it and all this shit. It's cool. The scene where all the soldiers are in the hallway and they unlock all the doors where the subjects are, and there's just like monsters and shit flying out and killing all the guards that were all like monsters that were in prison for so long. That was really cool.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Ready Player One for horror movies. You know that movie Ready Player One that had like all the
Right.
old.
Yeah.
It's like that for like horror. You know, there's like all kinds of shit that's coming out that you're like, oh, I know that guy. Um, that was a cool scene. That's a cool movie. Top 50 maybe. Top 10 probably not. I know a lot of people out there love the movie. I like it a lot. But yeah. Next one's The Thing. So for me, this is probably top 5, and they have it in 8. It is the best body horror movie of all time.
Oh yeah.
And this movie and one other one are my top sci-fi movies ever. And they cross over into horror. I don't know if it's going to be on this list, but The Thing and the original Alien are, in my opinion, the best sci-fi movies ever made. And it's not even close. And The Thing is fucking fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. It's incredible. It's very fucking scary. It's weird. It's gross. It does body horror better than any movie other than one other movie I can think of. I can't imagine it's on this list since we're at 8. If you haven't seen
Yeah.
The Void is a very good body horror movie that's like kind of in Lovecraftian territory. But The Thing is great. It's awesome. Top 5 for sure for me.
And even the original was pretty good actually.
Oh
For its
yeah,
time.
oh yeah, yeah. This is of course the remake, right? The one they
I was
have
gonna
they
say,
show
'cause the
here.
original one came out in like what, the 60s, 70s, right? Time frame? Or was that later?
But like maybe it was. I think it was 60s. I think.
I think he's
The
right.
original.
I'm not sure.
But the one they're probably talking about is
They're talking about the one
the
in
80s
'82, yeah,
Yeah.
with Kurt Russell. Um,
Yes.
it's an awesome
Still
movie.
great.
Either one of them are awesome. So next up is Silence of the Lambs.
think for memorable, I would say this is probably top. I mean, not just in general, like everybody knows what Silence of the Lambs is, or Lecter. So I think it would be what I put on 7 of all time. I don't know, but it was good. It was
Yeah, no,
definitely.
I think it's definitely like top 25. It is. It seems like one of the bigger movies of its of 90. In the 90s. 90s were kind of. Again, my blog post talks about this, but I kind of classify, and thank God I see number 4 right here. I was about to be so mad if this wasn't on here. But I thought, basically from the old like Universal Monsters, Hammer film, horror, all that stuff to like basically the early 70s was like the golden age. And once you get out of the golden age, you get to the silver age, which is like all the slashers from the 70s and 80s. When you get to the 90s, that's when things kind of slow down. You had Scream, you had Final Destination, you had Silence of the Lambs.
Final Destination was pretty wild.
And Silence of the Lambs, yeah, it's like one of the big 3 of that generation of horror movies. I think it's top 50 for sure. Top 10 for me, I don't know. It's great. It's a very good movie.
I was gonna say I would probably put it pretty close to top 10 of all time. I think.
It's good. That takes us to The Substance, which is. Have y'all seen that?
I have not.
Substance, yes.
So it is one of the better body horror movies to come out since The Void, which I think. I don't remember what year The Void came out. Maybe 2010s, early 2020s. The Substance was. First of all, I can't believe Demi Moore did the part because it was a very like wild ass movie. Very cool premise, very well done, and just the scenes of like her transformations back and forth. They were horrifying. It was very disturbing. The duality of her younger self trying to take control of her life, and Demi, her original self, kind of fighting back against. It was a very cool movie. This is another one of those instances where I would say top 10 of the decade for sure. Top 10 of all time, I don't know. 2020s, this easily top 10.
Yeah.
But all time, that's tough. So next one is Hereditary, which absolutely deserves its spot. It absolutely rocks. It's the best horror movie, in my opinion, since... let's see. What do I want to say that doesn't make me sound like an asshole? I think it's the best strictly horror movie. Not Terrifier, which is just gore porn, basically. I think Hereditary is the scariest movie since the original Conjuring, easily. In my opinion, it's scarier than the original Conjuring.
Yeah, I have not seen it, but I want
Oh,
to
you're out of your mind, bro. It's so good. It is easily the best.
Man, it's been a minute since I watched it.
I'm trying to think if there was another... I was hoping Longlegs would be Hereditary level, and it's not even close.
I know your one's coming up.
Yes, it is. So anyway, Hereditary is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. Toni Collette, she's been in more than a few of these movies that we've looked at, and this one is no different. She steals the show. She's incredible. This movie is heartbreaking. It's sad. It's terrifying. It's just such a, like, you have this feeling of dread the entire time you watch it. All the people that are in the movie, just, it seems like it's inevitable. The things that are happening to them, there's nothing to stop it. And it's fantastic. Top 10 of all time, easily for me. Well, let me think about that. Maybe top 15. For this decade, though, it's easily top 5, probably top 3. Maybe even 1. It's the best. It's the best. One of the best horror movies I've ever seen. It's criminally underrated in horror. Like, circles of people that are into horror, they know, but like casual horror fans will know Get Out and not know Hereditary, and that is insane because Hereditary, it clears Get Out, it clears all these other movies. It's awesome, so well done.
Yeah, top 3 for the day.
It's
yes.
it's so rad. It's just so well done. All right, Texas Chainsaw, absolutely top 5 of all time. It changed everything. This came out in 1974. This is before Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy. Um, Again, in my blog post today that I wrote for the site, this movie, to me, was the changing of the guard. You have the Lon Chaney Jr. and Sr., you have Bela Lugosi, you have, the black and white monsters from Universal, you have the Hammer films, horror movies coming out in the 50s, 60s, 70s as well. Um, then you hit this brick wall called Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? It comes out in 1974, and it changed everything. It was completely different.
Yep.
Just, it was so visceral and so unapologetic about itself. And what's equally incredible about Texas Chainsaw Massacre is people see the character, they see the title, and they go, "Oh, I know what this movie's all about. I'm not into gore. I'm not into Terrifier shit. No thanks." I wrote this on the site today. In the movie, you see two people get hit in the head, one with a stick and one with a mallet, and that's it. There's almost no violence in the movie. And you say that to somebody, they don't believe you. But I just rewatched it to make sure I didn't look like an idiot when I did this video. There's almost zero violence. There's barely, the only blood you see is when the hitchhiker cuts his own hand with a razor blade, and when they hit I can't remember the actress's name, but at the end of the movie when she escapes, they hit her in the back of the head with a mallet when they're trying to get the grandfather to kill her, but he's like literally a corpse and he can't kill her, obviously, but they're so twisted they don't notice that. And that's it. And like obviously there's a lot of implied violence. Leatherface revs up his
Which is
chainsaw.
sometimes more terrifying.
And
than
that's exactly my point. In my blog post today I was talking about, yes, obviously like gore and violence and stuff is scary, but if you write a character correctly, you don't need over the top violence and crazy jump scares and this and that to make a character scary. And to be honest, a lot of the characters that I find the most scary are the ones that have the least amount of violence and the least amount of jump scares. Leatherface is one of those characters. He is actually the opposite of a jump scare because you hear him coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
You know exactly where he is all the time, and that's what makes it scary. He doesn't just jump out. You know where I mean, the scene where he chases her into the second house, into the grandfather's house, and she's upstairs and she's trying to find a way out. You hear him coming the whole way through the woods, up the stairs, around the corner, back down the stairs, out the door. You hear the whole thing. And it's like, they didn't have to have him jump out of a fucking clown car, out of a closet. None of that.
Well, and and it goes back to the fact too that like again that one's based on a true story as well, so it's like that also adds to it. So
they
like,
have, so they definitely have
correctly, even the most recent ones, he could have still been at that because they never caught him. So I mean, like he could have, could have been watching his own movies. Like, no, that's not how it happened.
So it's based on a bunch of different real stories. So the big inspiration comes from Ed Gein, who was the Plainsview, the Plainsview killer, the Plainsview something. They did catch him. He was the guy that
the butcher of Plainfield.
Butcher of Plainfield. That's right. He was the guy that they raided his home and they found a bunch of like lampshades and chairs, and they found a mask that he had made out of people's skin, which is definitely where like the Leatherface inspiration came from.
Yeah.
But then a lot of the other killings they based off of another killer that was never found. So that's right. But I love the movie. I love that it kind of, I mean, again, in 74, they release a guy that has a chainsaw and a skin mask. The only other movie that feels like a shift in horror from the old black and white days was from like maybe like Psycho in
Yeah,
1960.
Psycho was freaky.
So that was
Well,
that
Psycho.
was in 1960. So that's a big shift from like the 50s and the 40s with the Universal monster stuff. Having a movie like Psycho in 1960 was a big jump. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
as big of a jump like Texas was.
Yeah, and I
Um,
mean, I would say too with Psycho, like I remember like vividly, like whenever the music was crazy, nothing happened. It was when it got quiet was when
yeah,
everything
yeah.
happened. And then you come to find out, at the end, like that whole story was just absolutely awesome.
I
That
think it's
said,
up. It's
I didn't
probably
see it on this list, but I'd probably put it in my top. I put it top, in my opinion, top 15 for me.
So
You know,
what's interesting about Psycho is if I remember, and maybe I'm getting it wrong, but that was the Norman Bates movie, right?
yeah, the one where
Yes.
basically he's talking, like the mom is telling him to do all
Yeah,
these
yeah,
things,
yeah.
but then you find out the mom's dead the whole
So
time.
yeah, so that
Because I had
movie
the
was
God, the
also
shower scene.
so yeah. Number one, two trivia about that. Number one, the woman that was in the shower for that scene,
Mm,
she could never shower with a non-clear shower curtain again because she was traumatized because of that scene.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
And number two, that movie was also inspired by Ed Gein, the butcher of Plainview or Plainfield. So
Huh.
that guy
I didn't know.
inspired Texas Chainsaw and Psycho because the guy, when they caught Ed Gein in real life and they published the story about all the shit they found in his house, a lot of what drove Ed Gein mad and what people think was his problem was he was also infatuated with his mom, just like Norman Bates was. And his mom was like a very religious fanatic and told him that all women are evil and all this crazy shit. And he had women's clothing and like his mom was he like taxidermized his mom and kept his mom in her room just like Norman Bates did. And when the guy he was writing the book Psycho still when Ed Gein got caught and when he heard the story, he added parts of the real life Ed Gein
Crazy.
to his book Psycho. So when it was then turned into a movie, well, because I think Ed Gein was caught in the mid '50s, so Psycho was written and then turned into a movie. So that killer actually inspired Psycho and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in one guy. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, this is it. Sorry to ramble on. This was at 4. It absolutely deserves to be at 4. It changed everything. It single-handedly transitioned horror movies from the golden age, black and white, Bela Lugosi vampire stuff to this was the first slasher, especially in American films, and it set the tone until like the early 2000s. They're still making movies about it. Not all of them are good, but the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre was incredible. Um, the scene, there's still the one of my favorite scenes in horror of all time is the first kill in the movie where the guy goes in looking for gas or whatever, and he walks around the corner and he sees that sliding door that Leatherface uses to get to the basement, and it's open, and he walks by, and he's like yelling for help, and then he walks back by, and Leatherface is standing there, and he whacks him over the head, pulls him in, and slams the door shut. And there's not really a jump scare. I mean, you can count Leatherface standing there as a jump scare, but he was standing there the entire time. He didn't jump out and scream or anything. He's just standing there. And he whacked him over the head, pulled him in, and like the way that he slammed the door was like he looked so visceral and angry about it. Just like it was just so rad. It was such a cool scene. That movie's top. I'm so glad it's on here. I was gonna be so bad. Um, so going from there, Videodrome. I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Old movie.
It's a
Well, not old,
It's a
old.
Cronenberg. It's a Cronenberg. So the guy that did The Fly.
Yeah, it's like one of his earlier stuff.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. It must be good. I don't know. I've never heard of it. The Ring obviously was a phenomenon. I think the Japanese one's better. But this looks to be the American one because it's got Naomi Watts in it. So, top two, I doubt it.
Yeah, I would put top two. I mean, it was definitely
It was a big movie. It was popular. I remember when it came out. It was very, very popular. I remember it was the only horror movie my mom would watch with me for some reason. Um, and I thought it was good. Again, top two, doubt it. I thought the Japanese one,
I
the
didn't realize
Ringu,
that it came out 2002.
yeah. Um, I thought the Japanese one was better. So, number one, they have The Shining, which I think I could probably say that's fair. Um,
Yeah, I'd agree.
The Shining is one of those genre-defining movies. It came out in '80. Um, Jack Nicholson is legendary because of this movie. Stanley Kubrick is legendary because of this movie. Shelley Duvall, unfortunately, is legendary because of this movie because she quit acting after it, or not long
Yeah,
after it. Um,
yeah, because that one scene with
Ja-
the door.
well, Jack Nicholson was just such a crazy person. I mean, there's scenes from behind the scenes where he's like revving himself up for the next scene, and he's just like jumping up and down and screaming and shit. Um, with this movie,
They
go ahead.
they played hell with Shelley Duvall.
Yeah, they drove. I mean, they drove her literally out of acting. Um, but this movie was, one of the greats. It is. It's still like part. Themes and things about it still echo through horror movies today. Um, I would say it's absolutely one. I would not argue top five for sure. Um, I think my biggest complaint about this list now that we're at the end, there was a couple things I wish were on here. I like The Void a lot. Um, Event Horizon was a really good movie. I guess you could consider that sci-fi though. But some of these I also consider sci-fi. Um, I'm sure there's movies I'm forgetting. I think Halloween should have been higher.
I mean,
Um,
Psycho definitely should have.
Psycho should be on here. It wasn't even on here, was it?
I don't think so.
I like just for the time. There were some Alfred Hitchcock movies that were good, especially The Birds. That wasn't on
Yep.
here. That
Yeah,
should
The
have probably
Birds was
been here.
fucking terrifying,
Um,
dude.
let's see. There wasn't a single Friday the 13th on here at all, which is
Yeah, which
interesting.
is
I thought one and
definitely
two were,
interesting.
were very good. Um,
Well, the interesting thing, depending on which list because like when we were talking about doing this, I was looking at a couple other lists, and there was quite a few. Like there was one that had like the Paranormal Activities as
well,
top.
it's interesting, and like Blair Witch Project wasn't on here, which I understand. There's been some like really bad remakes, but the original one like invented POV horror, like literally. There would not be a VHS, there would not be a record, there would not be a Quarantine or a Cloverfield or any of that without Blair Witch. Um, so I don't know. There was a lot of things that weren't on this list that I kind of shake my head at, um, but some things I agree with. So anyway, I don't want to record this forever. This was the Boo Bros, just doing some tier listing here, some critiquing, but we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Later.